Woo.
Hi, everyone. It's Ryan O'Hara, and I thought I'd go into the archives of my friendships over the years and dig deep into a huge skeleton in my closet. That's right. I have with me today CEO of CloudApp, Scott Smith. Say hi, Scott.
Hey, I'm Scott. Nice to meet everybody. Hey, how's it going?
Wow. You're so nervous. You can calm down. It's okay.
So full of energy.
Scott is choosing to use a cool green screen background. Where's that background from?
This is the office.
I wanted to talk to Scott today about remote working. I know you're probably seen a ton of these videos. You're probably like, all right, I'm sick of this.
Hey everybody, Corona's out there, and I get it. You're working remote, so what do you do?
Why is this person talking about it? Scott has literally done the remote thing several times before. You kind of do the remote thing now a little bit, right?
Yeah. So we have about a third of our team in the Bay Area, a third are in Utah, and then the rest of the company is actually remote. And I do a good percentage of my time either from my home office and then some in the office as well.
So how do you run it as a CEO? So you're thinking about it from like a leader perspective. What are you actually doing to like check in with people and make sure they're not just watching Netflix and ignoring their work?
I think the first thing is we hire good people that we can trust. And I think when you think about your business that way, it really changes the dynamic of how you approach work, no matter what, whether it's in office or remote. I think the second part is we have regular cadence meetings where we talk as a team, we report on numbers and progress, and we try to use other tools like CloudApp and Slack to give quick updates and do sort of like the quick tap on the shoulder as opposed to like interruptions.
You hire people that don't suck. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies that are out there now probably have some crumb bum employees and are stuck with people that they might not feel close with or trust. Like, what do you do in that situation?
It's a big shift, especially like right now. I mean, every company is sort of being forced to do it. So I have 4 kids, for example, and right now I'm working from home, and I don't usually have 4 kids around. So this is completely different. This is a new situation.
How do you block
Even
them
the
off?
people-
Do you just put a barrier so they can't get into the room, or what do you do?
No, actually, so yesterday, my son, so my wife is at home with me, and we are kind of trading off in terms of teaching and various other things. But my son was joining all my calls yesterday. I turned off the video and I changed his diaper during one of our calls. So I just try to incorporate all of the normal stuff into my remote life right now.
It's crazy because schools are out and like daycares are out and all that stuff too. So it's not like you have other places you could send them if you don't have like another partner there. Doing a webinar, which I'm totally going to plug, by the way, if you're listening to this or watching this. I'm going to be doing something with John Barros and Derek Grant where we're going to go through sales situations and they're going to coach it. One of the things I'm worried about is my dog's barking. Like, I got to figure out how to mute it. One thing I'd recommend is look around the house, get a directional mic if you want, because the way that directional mics work, if you're doing calls, they have like a cone pattern. I'm wearing a headset, so it's not going to work. But like, if you're outside the cone, you're actually not going to hear all the same stuff if you're doing something where it's going to be public and people are going to see it. And this stuff, you can easily get them on Amazon. Another site that you can get them on is newegg.com. Amazon's backed up right now for shipping. Apparently, they just announced today that they're only going to send essential items to people between now and April 6th, and the other stuff is going to be deprioritized.
Oh, wow. I actually just bought a new light so that I could get better light during my video calls. And yeah, I think there's small things that you can do. Headphones, lights, those kind of things.
One thing you should do is position yourself on a call so that if you're like by a window, which you shouldn't be, you don't deserve to be by a window. You should be in the darkness. But if you don't want to be in the darkness, you could actually have the window behind your screen. Like, that's the best way to get good backlight. So like, for example, you guys are going to see how messy my house is. Don't judge. I didn't know I was going to do this. This is me facing the window. If I
notice the tissue box in the background, by the way.
Yeah,
he's definitely got coronavirus.
I can't get tested. I wish there was a way to get tested. If you line up yourself by a window too much, the window will pull you out of focus and it'll make it so that you're darker and you look like a Bond villain. Another thing that I recommend is if you're using software like this, use the hide yourself feature. I know you're probably staring at yourself right now, right, Scott?
Absolutely. I think it's the only thing I always have turned on myself
Literally,
full time. Never want to see your face.
It's really bad. I literally do the same thing. Go up on the right click next to the mute button where you have your little thing, hit hide self view. You'll be surprised at how much more connected you feel. If you're recording a call for a manager to see eventually, you can do the gallery view and it'll show both parties the whole time, which is kind of cool.
So you kind of asked me the question of like, how do we work? I know your team, for example, you have developers in Singapore, for example. You have an office in the Bay Area.
Yep.
I mean, you've done it for a while too. Like, what's been the biggest difference between now and in the past?
I think the thing that's sort of happening right now on the remote end is we have younger people. So like when we were early, all the people that were at the company were senior and had experience at different places. When you get kids out of college and stuff, you got to check in with them a little bit more. It's not that I don't trust them. It's just they might feel like I don't know what I should be doing. It's really different when you have that energy that's in the office and what you should do. But like I've got, for example, 2 people on my team that are doing the job they're doing for the first time ever. It's their first professional job in a setting. I got to check in with them. I recommend doing a daily stand-up. And the daily stand-up format that I'd follow is what things you're trying to accomplish today. What did you accomplish yesterday? What are your blockers? And you do that during the morning, make it 15 minutes, super quick, make it fun. Do a little chum talk. Maybe you do it like from 9 to 9:15 and just have a coffee.
I'm a big Diet Dr. Pepper fan, man. I actually even have one right here.
Well, whoa, it's green screen. That's crazy. We're not sponsored by Dr. Pepper, but if we were, Dr. Pepper.
I would love to be. I think that would be like a main goal in life. Nike and Dr. Pepper. One thing that I've noticed a bunch of teams doing. So Josh, who leads support for CloudApp, when he started, he worked for DigitalOcean. He's been part of a number of different remote teams. He does a remote Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, he'll do like a remote game. And, you know, I think I've noticed a bunch of companies doing like remote happy hours. I'm curious if that works, if anybody's tried it. I'm actually very curious to see if trying that could be useful too.
I have a really fun game that everyone should go buy right now if you're looking for something remote to do with your team. Do this for a Friday afternoon because we don't know how long we're going to have to do this. It could be a couple weeks. It could be 6 months for all we know. Hopefully it isn't.
Yeah, my kids are going to be home for 3 weeks.
This game is awesome. It's called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. What you do is one person buys the game and then the other people have PDFs and you have to basically give them instructions on how to turn off a bomb. And it's really fun. Like people there's puzzles and the person that's controlling the bomb, if they move it too fast or they do the wrong thing, the bomb blows up and you lose. We did this once for like a remote retreat back in the early days at LeadIQ when we didn't have an office, and it was super fun. We recorded it. So like after something would happen, you'd share the recording on Slack with people and they all make fun of you for how terrible you are. There's no reason remote work couldn't actually be better in some ways if you do it the right way.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Let's kind of wrap up a little bit, Scott. What do you want to tell people? Like, we're in a weird, scary time. Obviously, my approach is like, it sucks, but we're going to make the best of it. Let's be positive. Let's get people through it. And we're all in this together. We're all feeling the same thing.
I think a couple things. So one is primary responsibility that we all have is to ensure that our family and those that are close to us are okay. I have a bunch of neighbors around me, for example, that are a little bit older. And I'm actually a little concerned about them. So, my family's made a couple little notes that we plan to drop off and just make sure they're okay. I think it's an interesting time. I mean, usually we're all pretty selfish. We're focused on our own careers. Check in with your family, check in with your neighbors. Is there anything that you can do to support your, local community without having to go out? And then second, so Ryan, you're working from home. I think you're married, but you have a dog. Your dog's going to be barking. My kids are going to be screaming. Right? They're just screaming all the time. So I think we all just need to be really, really, really empathetic and okay with calls that are just loud and just real crazy and just try to get by it.
Yeah, I love one of the things I love about you, Scott, is like, besides just we go way back, like I love that you're yourself. You know what I mean? You changing a diaper is you. That would totally be you on a Zoom call. And then you would text me and brag about how you did that. But like,
yeah, I want to make like an achievement unlocked badge for myself. That's like change diaper during Zoom meeting.
So like, just be yourself during this thing. Be cool with people. Everyone's feeling a little stressed. Let's all help each other. I love this. Thanks for being on, Scott.
Yeah, great to see you.